Hey, what's up grinders? I am Zard, and this week in Gems of War a new campaign starts. The new mythic Mandragora can still be found from just until Friday, and we also have a Vulpacea restricted raid boss running this week. I think we are going to hop over there. And this week's event captain Kit the Sly has the usual double magic and earns a double score when you kill boss with this troop. You can acquire copies of the new Godslayer by buying these shop tiers. Kit the Sly is a war gear and deals magic plus 4 damage to an enemy, which is boosted by green gems, and the boost ratio is 2 to 1. Alright, and if they're a boss, he will deal times 3, times 4, or times 5 damage based on the ascension of the troop. Traits: Wargear Bond, Allied Wargear gain 2 life, Agile 20% chance to dodge skull damage. That's nice if you are using him up top, and the usual Code Slayer trait deals times 3, times 4, or times 5 skull damage versus bosses, and the skull damage is based on the ascension of the troop, and of course your attack stat as well. There's also a very useful weapon here in the shop, Fox Fang, uh, which explodes magic plus 1 green gems and then grants a random status effect to all Vulpacea allies, and then summon a Vulpacea troop. These usual kingdom exploders, but this is pretty useful here in the Raid Boss event and also in the Underspire. The upgrades aren't anything special, pretty trash actually, but the weapon itself is very good for mana generation and some protection in case you have to summon troops. The team I'm using is this. We are using Todd Greenwood up top, who deals magic plus 4 damage to an enemy and then creates 3 green gems boosted by Warger allies, and the boost ratio is times 3. So when we are using a full Warger lineup, this Todd Greenwood will create 15 green gems, which is pretty nice, especially as we are using other green troops here as well. Todd Greenwood is our mana generator, and then Kit the Sly is used to kill the boss troop over here, and we are using the Foxfire King to deal AoE true damage to enemies. If enemy submerges, we can also deal a single true damage to the weakest enemy, and that's pretty useful at times. Also, the Foxfire trait has a 50% chance to inflict Fairy Fire on random enemy when matching red gems. It's okayish, can happen would I say passively at times. And here at the bottom we are using this Foxfang weapon, and we are using Spirit Walker class. The third trait, Spirit Drain, drains 2 mana from random enemy when an ally casts a spell. Pretty useful, however, won't do anything to this frozen Deraski here because he is invulnerable and is immune to mana drain. But the Vulpacea class, though, has pretty good talents here in the talent tree. Purification, Cleanse, useful against Freeze or Deathmark or whatever. Root Trap entangles the first enemy at the start of the battle. Nature's Aura creates a Leaf Storm at the start of the battle. Really helps to get those dot alignments when we are spamming him. And the level 70 talent Nature's Will gets bonus green mana from green gem matches, and of course this level 100 talent Harvest Moon, all Warger allies gain 2 life every turn, is okay, but nothing groundbreaking here though. We are mainly using this class to get the maximum out of Todd Greenwood mana generation, and the Root Trap and the Leaf Storm really help here when spamming this troop. Now, for the very early stages, you could swap the Foxfire King here in the second slot. So when you are casting Todd Greenwood, the Foxfire King fills up faster, and then you can just single AoE true damage enemies out of the way when you don't have to use the Kit the Sly that much. However, when you are climbing higher in the boss levels, you pretty much want to have Kit Sly here in the second position, that he fills up faster so you can deal a damage here in the Taraski sooner, because there is always possibility that even though Todd is pretty useful troop and very powerful, he can still miss at times. Also, there are troops that freeze. That's a problem too. But if you manage to kill the boss quick enough, the freeze won't be that big of a problem, even if you lose Toad up top. You can use this Foxfang weapon to generate mana to your other damage dealers, and maybe you get a useful troop up top. Now, let's talk about if you are a low level player. Then it is not very good idea to use a Toad here in the top slot. You could use, for example, Sable Spirit Pen in place of the Foxfire King, because if you're low level player, your AoE true damage isn't going to be anything spectacular. So instead, you should concentrate on killing the boss. Sable Spirit Pen is also a God Slayer from a previous Vulpacea Raid Boss event, so this helps to get that damage in the Taraski. We're using Toad to generate mana to our main boss killer over here, but this Sable Spirit Pen can help, and most importantly, is used kind of a mid shield, because again, if you are a low level player, you really want to loop with Toad Greenwood as much as possible, because that's how you are going to get these things done. Right. Let's use the team that I prefer myself, because I can take a little bit of skull pounding, but if we are going closer to the weekend, maybe I'm going to swap to that team where the Sable Spirit Pen is up top as well. Let's try this team in practice. Yeah, the freeze is a little bit of problem, but maybe you can take a slow and make sure that you aren't going to get frozen. When you are filling up your Toad Greenwood, I would prefer to taking first of all any extra turns and brown over green, because when you take this brown gem over here, the green gems are left on the board unless the AI is a punk and takes those green gems. Now we could take it easy again and take this red gem over here and fill up our God Slayer, and now take a big cast here in the Taraski. That was pretty heavy, and now we can concentrate on looping and dealing that AoE damage from Foxfire King. There isn't any extra turns, so it is safe to cast Foxfire King, and we need another cast, so we generate green gems and deal that AoE damage with our Foxfire King. It's pretty straightforward stuff, really. Let's take one more shot over here and freeze again. The devs are really trying us. Actually, I read that the future Pathfinder troops, these king or troop type loopers, are going to be nerfed, and they will only create 2 gems boosted by the allies. That's not very good. That will be only 11 gems per cast, even if you used, for example, in this case, 4 worker allies, and that is not correct, because if you played those epic trails this week, there is only 3 worker troops, and that creates 12 gems and misses a lot of times. So imagine if we are going to get only 11 gems. Well, some losses will be made or happen. Let's deal a cast here in the Taraski, and then we just generate mana to our Foxfire King. Let's take that and that. Then deal AoE true damage. Create more mana and another AoE true damage. There. Right. Pretty straightforward stuff. Let's go check this week's Underspire. I gotta count just quickly. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hopefully my boss is over here. Okay. So the team. Again, we're using Toad Greenwood up top. We're using Foxfang with Spirit Walker and the Foxfire King for the AoE true damage. And in the last slot we are using Phoenix. Another AoE true damage dealer. And also the Phoenix Blessing third trait, bless and enchant a random ally when I match 4 or more gems. This is really useful because in Underspire you won't have any shop tiers, so you won't have enchant or explode in the start of the battle. So when you are matching extra turns, Phoenix can bless and enchant your allies, which will in overall speed up the fights. And the bless is of course useful against Death Mark and freeze, etc. Let's try this team in here against these dragons. Again, gotta get dot up by matching green gems or brown gems. Of course we take this extra turn over here and our dot is going and ready to rock. And of course looked like I missed, but I didn't, so now we can deal this heavy AoE true damage. Oh, I really should have taken those extra turns, but here in the first levels it's not that big of a deal. That was 4th battle. Let's check the 5th fight. Yeah, okay, should be pretty easy. Just get tied up and spam the green gems on the board and deal AoE true damage. In the later levels, you might want to think about swapping to Elementalist and maybe could also ditch a Todd and use another true damage dealer and just use this Foxfang for mana generation. But for here in the early stages, it's pretty safe to just go with this lineup for sure. Now, hope for boss. Come on. Oh, crap. Okay, well, at least I know the boss isn't going to be over here. That's about it. The hunt goes on here in the Underspire, but now I gotta start preparing for the PvP video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It helps me a lot and brings some attention to this channel. And stay safe. As is off. Peace.